In a quiet Prussian town called Königsberg lived a man whose ideas changed how we understand knowledge, morality, and existence. His name was Immanuel Kant. Born in 1724, Kant wasn't a conqueror or a revolutionary, but his revolution was of the mind. He grew up in a modest religious family. He wasn't a prodigy, but he was endlessly curious. At the University of Königsberg, he studied mathematics, physics, and philosophy. Among his greatest influences was David Hume, a skeptic who argued that humans could never truly know the causes behind events. Hume's words, Kant said, awakened me from my dogmatic slumber. Kant began to ask, what can we truly know? How does the human mind shape the world we experience? These questions led him to write The Critique of Pure Reason, one of the most challenging and revolutionary books in philosophy. Kant argued that our minds don't passively receive information from the world. Instead, our minds actively structure experience. Space, time, and causality, these are not things we discover out there. They are the lenses through which we see reality. He called this a Copernican revolution in philosophy. Just as Copernicus showed that the Earth revolves around the sun, Kant showed that reality, as we know it, revolves around the way our mind organizes it. But Kant's genius didn't end with knowledge. He turned to a deeper question: what makes an action truly moral? In his groundwork for the metaphysics of morals, Kant introduced a principle called the Categorical Imperative. It says, act only according to that maxim whereby you can, at the same time, will that it should become a universal law. In simple words, before you act, ask, would it be right if everyone did this? For Kant, morality was not about emotion or consequences. It was about duty, doing what is right because it is right. He believed every human being possesses dignity, not because of wealth or status, but because of the ability to think and choose freely. We are not mere means to an end. We are ends in ourselves. That's why freedom and respect lie at the heart of his moral philosophy.
Kant once wrote, "Two things fill the mind with ever new and increasing admiration and awe, the starry heavens above me and the moral law within me." Those words captured the essence of his thought, the harmony between reason and wonder, science and ethics. In life, Kant was simple and disciplined. He never married, rarely traveled, and followed the same routine every single day. His neighbors said they could set their clocks by his daily walks. Yet, within that quiet life, he built an empire of ideas. His works influenced generations, from Hegel and Nietzsche to modern psychology and cognitive science. Kant showed that the mind is not a mirror of nature, it is an architect of experience. He reminded humanity that truth isn't simply found, it's shaped by how we think, that morality isn't dictated by power, but by conscience, and that freedom begins in the act of reason itself. Immanuel Kant's legacy is not of easy answers, but of questions that still challenge the limits of human understanding. He taught us that wisdom begins when we dare to ask not what the world is, but how we, through reason and morality, help make it what it becomes. Immanuel Kant, the man who taught us that the universe above is mirrored by the moral law within.